training, some at the basic level and some at the advanced level. At the work session, I spoke about an evidence van or some type of evidence vehicle that we could use to take with us to process some of our scenes. Perry Township is writing a lot of search warrants and executing a lot of search warrants. And working a lot of felony cases that they haven't seen in quite some time, and that's due to the great individuals that we have on the force. So to be able to continue to do so, we need some equipment to help with that, and one of those is the evidence van. I had a couple of quotes, but I went over and spoke with Ray over here at Midwest Trucks and Equipment. Ray gave me a rough estimate for the evidence vehicle, along with a 14-foot trailer for those two pieces of equipment to be upfitted and things with what we need. Looking at about a total of $30,000.
Instead of the two vehicles.
Instead of the equipment or the van, just purchasing it from Fires Ford for $30,000. So it looks like we're going to be saving quite a bit of money there, and we're keeping the business local. I spoke with him about 2:30 this afternoon. He had asked for me to give him approximately a week to gather everything up for me and everything. So I'm going to hold off on talking about the evidence van and the trailer for now, because I want to see what he could do for us, and it seems to be working out pretty well. But with the detective and supervisor vehicle, which is something else that I proposed at the work session, I think the 2020 Ford Explorer is going to be what's best. We don't need a Tahoe, especially if we're getting an evidence van. That's going to be more than enough. That's going to house all of our equipment. This evidence van would also work as a small command post if something was to happen, maybe another SWAT standoff or another tornado, or some type of large scale event that would require a command post. This could also serve as a dual purpose. So with that, I think the 2020 Explorer, given Detective Waymeyer a vehicle to use and to share as a dual purpose with Sergeant Hessler doing the stuff that they do, I think that's more appropriate than a Tahoe. The quote that Buyers Ford gave on that was the $37,687. Just like the other vehicle that we purchased from Buyers, and like the ones we got from London Ford, you could do a purchase or a lease option, so you're paying half of that up front and then the other half the following year. This vehicle would not be upfitted to the fullest extent of like what our police cruisers are currently. We would run an interior light bar, some hideaways in the front grille, a rear lighting in the back window for the back deck. There wouldn't be any radios or anything installed because we'd be operating off of a portable. It would just be the lights and the siren that was installed in that. Build time on this is about 12 weeks.
Gotcha. I did have a question about the evidence van. You had mentioned getting storage and whatnot outfitted in the back. Was that also included in what you talked with Ray about outfitting the back of the Transit or E-Series?
Yes.
Okay.
Ray is looking, I don't know exactly what he does over there. Tina introduced me to him today. But I do know this is his own business. He gets some used vehicles, low mileage. The van that he suggested, just as a visual picture for everybody, the big blue Amazon Prime vans, this would be about that size, if not a little bigger. So that would be more than plenty to house the stuff. All of the guys that he has working for him over there, they do custom work and everything with major semis. So he said this wouldn't be an issue that they could throw in and get done for us.
And that vehicle will be able to tow the trailer?
The trailer would live here. The red trailer that we have outside, the doors are literally rotting off.
Right.
As you can see, there's, I don't know how many cans here. I think I counted like 12 tubs here. This takes up a lot of that room. We have the fishing derby that we put stuff in out there, along with all the prizes that come along with this. That 14-foot trailer would house all of this. Anything for the community that we do, like I said, the fishing derby, Easter egg hunt, shop with the cop, anything of that nature, that would all live in there.
I'd like to make a motion to allow the police department to purchase the vehicle and trailer combination.
Well, I have to wait until Ray gets back with me with all the details.
Okay.
Heather, are you wanting a resolution for the 2020 Explorer?
Yes.
For $37,687.
Now, that's not outfitted or anything.
No.
So, how much you're talking about outfitted and everything?
For the lights, you're probably looking at another $3 to $4 grand.
And lettering?
No, this will not have lettering.
So what was it, 37?
$37,687.
Another 7 on top of that?
What's that?
How much?
3 or 4, right?
Yeah.
3 or 4,000 for the lights and sirens.
Mm-hmm. So we have a siren control box here, so that wouldn't cost anything except for just to do the install for that.
So over 40,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And your budget's okay with that?
Hmm.
Okay, so make a motion to put the price of the Explorer at $37,687 plus the $4,000 for the license siren, the police detective and supervisor vehicle.
I'll second.
Hirschman?
Yes.
Lynn? Yes. Mears?
Yes. That's an additional vehicle, not replacing anything, correct? And what are you doing with the other one out there?
The other one we have scheduled to go to K.E. Rose to have all the equipment removed, and then from there we'll go over to Yipes and Stripes and have the decals removed, and then it's going straight up to Govies. K.E. Rose is running a little behind. They have like 9 cruisers to knock out for the sheriff's department. So.
Was it that one's drivable, right? Yes.
Jeep?
Yes.
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 Yeah, Opata finally got back with me after months, and they said, "Yeah, we're not interested."
Okay. That's
That's it.
Thank you. Trustee report, I just attended a bunch of other township meetings and have been in contact with the fire department, Sonia and Chief Fletcher, regarding the fire contract. That's about it.
You're up next.
Since the last meeting, I finished my sunshine law training, but that's really about it for me.
In the last 30 days, I've attended 4 area township meetings: Clay Township, Butler Township, Harrison Township, and German Township. Learning a lot, going to the meetings, and meeting the trustees and fiscal officers from the other townships. In the past, Perry did a newsletter. I found it in the old cabinets. And this is something that I was just wondering, is this may be a great thing to do if we were to stand up a committee for it. I'm not making an action for a committee. I'm just saying that if we were to, this may be something worthy of discussion. If the residents are interested in a township newsletter, again, a quarterly one, touching on events in the area, the schools, whatever. Like I said, Perry did this in the past. was something that was well received. I don't know the burden. I haven't done the research on that. I haven't talked with Mr. Sim, because I believe you were...
About $1,500-$1,600 each time you do one.
Yeah.
That was the burden.
Yeah. And nowadays, I mean, you can do most of that with software and post it or email it. Well, you can email it. That's what I'm saying, is that I don't have a fully found solution. I'm just wondering if the township, now a website may answer that mail, but we don't have to do that. We can just do a page quarterly for that, and that's fine. But I wanted to at least open the aperture a little bit and see what kind of participation the residents are interested in the township. If committees are a good thing, something that they would be interested in, then by all means, that's something that we can discuss down the road. I was curious what we do for Memorial Day events. Memorial Day's around the corner, and this year is quite a year.
Usually the VFW, they contact us, they have a
Cemetery.
It's at the cemetery,
Right.
Piermont, and then we go up to Arlen.
Gotcha.
Whether you want to never saw one that, you know, we donate that, or one in New Lebanon, one in Piermont.
And the Brookville, well, that's when we get riot, and is Piermont and Arlington.
Gotcha. I do have an interest in, if there's, I didn't know if you reached out to them or they reached out to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So when that comes in, I would like to be involved. I don't have to lead it. I would just like to be involved because...
No, they lead it, we don't do it.
Right, just participation?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Show up.
And I've been hearing a lot of the townships are already kind of stacking up for cleanup days. Police departments are participating, township officers are participating. Sometimes the township has nothing to do with it, and it's just a local business that decides to stand one up. They talked about it at German Township last night, that a local business basically bought lunches for everybody that was participating, and they set it up, and they went down a series of roads that were known for garbage dumping. And there again, that may be something, I think we've done that in the past as well. We've done cleanup days. I don't know what the catalyst for that is, what starts that, but that's something that I'd like to start looking into as well, or at least discussing, to figure out what level of interest is with the police department, township officers, as well as the residents. So there'll be more to come on that.
We did have a request for one in the Piermont area.
Did we? So that may be something to put on a working, not the next working session, but a future working session. Also, I'm not going to sit up here and beat a drum about the coronavirus, but we do live in a township that has an older population. So if you have people live around you, neighbors, check in on them, make sure everybody's okay, families with young children, etc. Basically ask that everyone be a good neighbor and check in on your fellow residents because it's important. This is our community, and I think everyone has a common interest in that. The last thing I wanted to bring up is the 2020 census is right around the corner. That census does have an impact on our township financially with the money that we generate from property taxes, as well as our availability to get grants and other monies based on resident household incomes. So please, when that comes around the next week or two, please take it seriously. It's our constitutional right and obligation to do so, and appreciate everyone taking the time to do that. That's all I have.
Any new business? Any old business? Any visitors?
For the car show, we came up with a date after researching what car shows are in the area, stuff like that. August 1st is a Saturday, is when we're going to do it. We're still looking for a location. I have a few people that are really good at finding places, so they're on that right now. Again, we would open a nonprofit. I have several already that I have. So I would just have another nonprofit open, and when we generate the flyer and the website and everything for that, it would be, that we're raising money to help with things for Perry Townships, and they had money come out for disaster relief stuff that they had to do that came up that were unexpected costs to help reimburse the general fund, or however we end up deciding to word that. And I would bounce that back and forth with you guys to make sure however we word that is okay with Nathaniel. And obviously it would all be completely separate from Perry Township, but that would be what the nonprofit would be raising money for, so that there's a purpose of what we're doing it for. If anybody has ideas of locations, we would like a place. A car show goes well. A car event goes much better. But to have the event, you have to have things that are happening. One of the things in my experience that goes very, very, very well, and again, we would have the liability insurance and everything for this, is either doing a burnout contest, drag race thing, something to that effect that you can do. One of the places we had looked at was the airport that I had talked with you about. They actually used to do drag racing out there in 1950. It was a drag strip out there, and talking to them to see if they would let us use that space. That would be amazing space for parking, amazing space for all that, so that if it would rain 2 days before, you're still all on gravel areas. That's the only problem with doing it in the field. Is these people, if it rained 2 days before, they're not going to bring their cars out there. They just won't do it. So we need a place that's concrete. So anybody that has ideas like that, if you can get a hold of me, that would be awesome, and I can check into those further. You guys know this area better than I do. I know that Dale knows everybody. But, so if anybody does have ideas, what we're looking for is a large concreted area, whether it be a road area, a runway area, a big parking lot area, things like that. So if anybody has that, anybody that would like to volunteer to be on the car show committee, a car event committee, whichever one we end up doing, if you want to contact me, you can. And I can leave my phone number with Rhonda, and people can get a hold of me that way. And we can go from there. But August 1st is the date that looks like it would be the best. We were looking at August 8th, but it's a huge car show in Dayton, and there's no way we would touch it. So they also have Dayton Cars and Coffee, and it's the first and third Saturday of each month. A lot of those go from 7 to 9 or 7 to 10. So then you already have your car show people out. So we tried to do it on a date that they were already doing that in this area, so that way we could do registration from like 10 to noon or 9 to noon, and go from there with that. So those are just some kind of preliminary things that we would be doing. But August 1st is the date that we're going to set, and I'll start having a flyer generated and a Facebook page made for it and everything like that, so that we can get that started going in, advertising and looking for donations and selling. We take the trophies and we sell them to different businesses. They buy it so that they sponsor that trophy. The name's put on it. The dash plaques can be sponsored by somebody. We'll look for different companies in the area. Obviously, I would try to stay as local as we could, so that these areas are who's getting their name out there first, and then we can expand the area from that. That's what I got for an update for now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else?
Actually, on the place, on weekends, is there a dispatch for weekends, or as far as in-house to answer phones, or?
If you need an officer dispatch, you could call 911
Yeah.
or 225 help.
Okay.
Do
So I was
not
trying to
rely
look at
upon-
non, emergency situations. So.
If you want to call up here and, say, hey, I need, can I get a copy of this report,
Yeah.
or something along those lines,
Yeah.
by all means, you can call.
Right.
Still not guaranteed somebody's going to be in this office.
Okay.
We're almost at 24-hour coverage.
Okay.
but it's a big township for one officer to patrol, so.
Well, we have a suspected situation that's gonna probably go down, and I'll get with you afterwards about,
Okay.
and, for our church down here.
Okay.
And it's been seeing a lot of action lately, so one of your officers was called out by me,
Okay.
a couple weekends ago. So, we think we got that under control, but we have another situation that's, way worse. That's
Yes, ma'am.
coming our way, so.
Okay.
But I got info on, and I need to pass that forward, and then I need to know, hey, that would be a 911 situation.
Right.
The other was not. It was
Okay.
a petty theft, rape type thing, so,
And even that type of call, you still want to call the 225 help.
okay,
It sends you down to our dispatch center,
okay.
but it's a non-emergency line.
Yeah, that's what I needed to look for,
Okay.
because I had to call 911 and say, hey, it's a non-emergency, and then it took a little, just very quick bit for you guys to finally
Okay.
get there on the scene, but he did a good job in that department. On the coronavirus, do you guys have anything implemented, if they do actually decide to shut things down? Do you guys have an action plan, put in place, how you're gonna handle township things and the police responses and stuff like that? It's something that we're preparing down there at the church as well, is to start pre-planning ahead just in case, even if it wasn't corona and anything else, you know, an outbreak of God knows what, you know. It's just a thought that you guys might want to start preparing for.
Yeah, I had actually asked a question about that, I don't know, I think our last working session, just
Yeah.
what is it that Perry does during a emergency or a pandemic?
Well, this is something totally.
Because everybody
right
meets
now.
here,
Yeah.
so there isn't a conference call line, there isn't something else. Although those are easy to get, you know, getting an open line that we can do meetings on, but that's.
Right. Well, like with
that's definitely
YouTube, I know, you know, churches can do it. I didn't know if you guys were established to do that as well. And then maybe even get the community and let them know what the action plan is, you know, get it out there once you guys have decided that.
Right.
But it's just a thought, you know. I know as security down here, we have to prepare for all that.
Yeah, I just took a class on that at UTA at the conference, and it's one of the things that I would like us to get a work session. We haven't had the time to do that yet.
Right away.
After the tornado happened, there were a lot of things that potentially could have been done differently.
Yeah.
I do know through the Public Health Department and some other agencies that I work with that because the governor has declared a state of emergency,
Right.
if an individual county feels that need for state of emergency,
Mm-hmm.
there is an emergency operations program in place countywide.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at that point in time, we will subscribe to the county's emergency operations plan and their incident command structure until we have our own in place.
Right. Okay.
But that is something that at some point we as a township will be working on for mass scale situations.
Yeah, we didn't expect to implement it so fast, so it's something we're working on. And it's a fairly large facility for us to work with, so.